What's up? What's up? What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Uncle Fred, and I'm back in the house. And it's Sunday, and you know what that means. If I'm coming to you Sunday, I'm doing a Cowboys recap. And we know it was 1 year ago, or almost one day away. 1 year ago, and representing. I don't know if you can see that or not. 1 year ago, catastrophic injury. Dak Prescott making a run on the left sideline, got tackled, ankle kept going. He's been pulled back in bounds and compound fracture, broken everything. Dak Prescott out for the season. So year later, same place, same team, same time. A year later, you can't make this stuff up. All right, y'all hit that like button, hit the subscribe. Please comment and participate in the Uncle Fred experience. But we're gonna talk about the Cowboys today. Big win over the Giants. The scene was set, and it was a lot of emotions involved, and the day was heavy. And but the Cowboys prevailed. Cowboys win 44-20 over the Giants. And just let me tell you what happened today. All right, everybody come in, like, subscribe, and participate. So here's my observations. First quarter, I thought everything was going pretty good for as far as the running game was concerned. Offensive line firing off the ball, opening up holes for Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. They made some nice runs. I kind of thought Dak was a tad bit off in the first quarter, okay? Just a little off. He was a little off on some throws. I thought he held the ball a couple of times too long and threw it late and to when it wasn't, by the time you throwing it late, you off balance, you running for your life, the percentage of, you completing those passes are low. And so it was a couple of those. But in the first drive, we made a couple of first downs. Pollard and Zeke are running. Then we end up in a 4th and 2 at the Giants 44-yard line. You're kind of in taint. You're kind of in no man's land. Okay, you really don't want to punt it because really they'll probably get the ball at the 25 or what have you, or the 20 or whatever. And really, it's only 4th and 2. Your analytics say you'd be better served to go for that. Okay, so I guess Mike McCarthy is more analytics. So we're going for 4th downs more than we ever have. And I know that's kind of the thing that they kind of talk about now is going for 4th downs. So let me adjust this up a little bit. You can kind of see, so you can see my swag here. All right. So before we go for it, 4th down and 2 at the Giants 44-yard line with about 12 minutes to go in the first quarter. And Dak tries to pass over in the left flat to Ezekiel Elliott, who's by himself. But Williams, the linebacker, number 44, jumps up, tips it, and then catches it. First quarter pick. Dak ain't threw an interception since the second game of the season. I didn't like the play call. I thought he didn't see the linebacker laying in the weeds. But I didn't like the play call. For me, I thought on a 4th and 2 at that position on the field, I would have tried the play where Zeke's running. You put the ball in his stomach and ride his hip, and then if they collapse down on him, you pull it out and then you run for that first down for those 2 yards. Or if they, play it honest, just let Zeke have it and get those 2 yards because the offensive line was playing strong. I don't like those finesse type things on 4th down and 2, anything like that, because I just think tip balls and things like that can happen. I didn't like the play call. That's just me. I did not like the play call. All right. But anyhow, we got a turnover right about midfield, just about midfield. And when he intercepted it, it was a couple of yards back. And so the Giants make a couple of first downs, but they miss a 54-yard field goal. So really there's no harm, no foul. So we get the ball back. We make a couple of runs. Dak's still a little bit off, going behind guys. He makes maybe couple of throws for like maybe 12, 13 yards or whatever. And we get in the field goal range and the drive stalls and we kick a field goal and it's 3-0. Okay. So but we held, but our defense is playing so well that we're keeping the Giants from really sustaining anything. I think Danny Dimes didn't complete a pass till like almost the second quarter. He was like 0 for 6. And so anyhow, I thought that, we played, not as good as we could have played. Okay. Then right before the end of the third quarter, we drive and we could add more points to the 3-point lead. And it's 35 seconds to go in the quarter. And we get the ball with 5 minutes and 19 seconds to go in the first quarter. And we drive down to the 4-yard line. It's 2nd and goal. And Dak's in the shotgun. And look, Biotish has been all over the place with his snaps. And some of his snaps are up, some of them are down, some of them are left, some of them are right. This one was a little to the left, and Dak maybe took his eyes off the ball for a second, trying to read what was going on. Fumbled the ball, Giants recover. So really, we have probably driven the ball about 80, 90 yards in the first quarter and have like 3 points. Okay. And the Giants have about like 20 yards, and we're only up 3-0. And so those things, I think those are things that usually can come back to bite you, because you're not going to hold a team without moving the ball all game, So when you're able to move the ball, you need to cash those things in. You can't be throwing interceptions on fluky 4th and 2 passes, at midfield, and you can't be fumbling the ball at the 4-yard line going in when you could have at least had a field goal. So really not feeling good about the Cowboys, because it's 3-0. But I was texting with a friend. I said, Dak seems off. I don't know if the emotion of the day is getting to him. He's trying too hard, or he's too keyed up, or whatever, because I know those things can happen. So second quarter, it kind of soothed me a little bit, because But one other important thing about the first quarter, it's 6:13 in the first quarter, understanding that the Giants are just decimated with injuries, because they come into the game missing Darius Slayton, missing Sterling Shepard, wide receivers, both of them with hamstring injuries. About, I don't know, a minute or two into the second quarter, they end up losing Kenny Golladay. Okay. So they really hurting at the wide receiver position. But at 6:13 of the first quarter, on a routine pass play in the shallow left part of the field, Saquon collides with Jordan Lewis and turns his ankle almost all the way over. And they showed him on the sideline. There was a knot about the size of my fist on the side of his ankle. And they carted him off. And I was like, wow, a year ago they was carting Dak off, and a year later they carted Saquon off. I hate to see that, because Saquon has tried and worked so hard to get back. And, I'm a Cowboy fan, but more than that, I am a football fan. And you hate to see great players go down, to injury or things like that. You hate to see that. But Saquon Barkley, so in addition to all the other guys that have gone down, they're missing Saquon Barkley too. 6:13 to go in the first quarter. So second quarter comes around. So Cowboys get the ball after they hold them, after they get the fumble. The fumble happens with 35 seconds to go in the first quarter. And then they stop them and get the ball back at like the 25-yard line. And so they make a couple of plays. And then just to make sure that I knew that Dak was all right, 3rd and 8 at the Giant 49. Dak Prescott drops a dime to CeeDee Lamb, 49 yards, beat Bradbury and Love, the safety, couldn't get over in time. 49-yard touchdown. Dak drops it in the bucket. It's 10-0 Dallas. And I'm feeling kind of good, all right? And then in the second quarter, I'm feeling kind of good, okay? It's 10, but then the Giants come down, kick a field goal, because after Golladay goes down, it became the Kadarius Toney show. And I know Kadarius Toney because I'm an SEC. I know the SEC as being a University of Alabama Roll Tide fan, and I've seen Kadarius Toney and Kyle Pitts and Kyle Trask at the University of Florida doing damage. And that Kadarius Toney is a freak, okay? And so Kadarius Toney started to go to work, all right? And so he makes a catch on Anthony Brown in the second quarter, a 38-yard catch. Anthony Brown has got to start playing and having some confidence about where he's at on the field, because that's why he gets beaten. I think he bailed out, and if he'd have turned around, he could have had a pick. But Kadarius Toney makes a great catch on the sideline, covering 38 yards, and that lets the Giants get a field goal, and that's 10-3. And then we stall on the drive, and then they get the ball back. Then another big play in the game. 2:52 to go in the game in the first half. Giants are driving, and they get down to the goal line, and it's 3rd down and goal with 2:52 to go in the quarter. And so they had tried a couple of runs to Devontae Booker, and they get stopped. And then so they kind of get cute on 3rd down, so they do a speed option to Danny Dimes around the left end. Now, Danny Dimes, don't let the paint job fool you. Danny Dimes got wheels, okay? Go back and check that Philadelphia Giants game, about the second game of the season. You can see that kid got wheels, okay? But on this particular play, he gets caught before he cashes it in by Jabril Cox and Chauncey Golston. And they drag him down right before he gets to the end zone, okay? And I hate to see this also, because he gets up and he puts his hands on his knees while he's standing, to kind of get his bearings. Then he takes a step and he staggers and almost falls. And then it's like, ooh, he doesn't know where he's at. He's wobbly. And hats off and kudos to Javon Curse for seeing that and going to him and kind of steadying him till the Giants medical staff can come over and check him out. Man, good sportsmanship by Javon Curse. Even though I know we're playing against them, and we're, I guess, from a sports, perspective, enemies or whatever, but you hate to see somebody, like that. And it was obvious that he didn't know where he was going and could not make it to the sideline, to the Giants sideline. So Javon Curse goes over and kind of steadies him and kind of, until the Giants staff can come get him. And then, of course, now he's got a concussion. He can't really come back. And it was obvious he had a concussion. He didn't know where he was at, and he couldn't walk. He couldn't steady himself. So you hate to see that. So in comes Mike Glennon, journeyman quarterback, drafted by the Bears back in, I want to say, 2014, 2015. And has spent some time with Tampa Bay and some other teams and whatnot, kind of bounced around. And now he finds himself with the New York Football Giants. And so they get a touchdown on a 1-yard run by Devontae Booker, who jumps over the top on 4th down. And it's 10-10 with like a little under 2 minutes, a little over 2 minutes to go in the half. So really, I'm really not feeling good about the half, because in honesty, we've dominated the first half. Okay, we have held the ball for of the 30 minutes, we've probably held it 18, 19 of the minutes, probably got 235 yards of offense. So they're like 150. Okay, but we fumbled the ball at having driven it 40, 50 yards down to the 4, and we threw an interception after driving it like 30 yards. And so those 80 yards, that you got nothing for, are not reflected in the scoreboard. Okay, so that's why you dominate the game, and then you look up at the scoreboard, that's 10-10. Okay, but I like it at 2 minutes and 10 seconds to go, we get the ball back, and the Cowboys go to work. Okay, the Cowboys go to work, and they go like an 8-play, like 65-yard drive, ending with a 26-yard touchdown pass to Amari Cooper in the left side of the end zone, and we're up 17-10 at the half. So I'm feeling kind of good now. We're up 17-10, should be up by a couple of touchdowns, but I'm good. I'm like, okay, because I know there's no Danny Dimes, there's no Darius Slayton, there's no Sterling Shepard, there's no Kenny Golladay, but they do have Kadarius Toney and some other spare parts. They do have Devontae Booker as running back, but no Saquon. So I'm like, how much firepower are they really going to have? Surely we should be able to curtail them in the second half. So, but nobody told Kadarius Toney about that. He starts off the third quarter with a nice 28-yard catch and run on my man Diggs down the right sideline, and gets him in the field goal range. But there was an errant snap on the third down play, and so they had to settle for a 51-yard field goal, which Graham Gano makes, and it's 17-13. Then I like this now. Then after that, our first play of the second half, we get the ball with about 12 minutes and some change to go in the third quarter, excuse me. First play from scrimmage, the third quarter. Dak Prescott throws a flanker screen to CeeDee Lamb, and he runs it for 11 yards and finds Logan Ryan and bulldoze him for the last 4 yards and runs over him. And that felt good to me because Logan Ryan was the guy that got Dak Prescott hurt. Wasn't nothing he did dirty. I just thought he did a little too much. Sometimes I think guys do too much on these tackles, and you just get the guy down, and that's all you got to do. And all this extra pulling and dragging and stuff, and sometimes that's a little too much. So I thought Logan Ryan, who's a good dude, but I thought he had that coming. So that felt good to see CeeDee Lamb lower his shoulder and bulldoze into him for that 11-yard gain. Okay, so after that play, Dak Prescott hits Dalton Schultz for a 30-yard run off of a scramble to the right. He could have ran for the first down. I think it was 3rd and like 6, but then he saw Dalton Schultz streaking down the middle of the field, dropped it off for 30, then 15 yards to Amari, and then Zeke runs down to like the 4-yard line. But almost a very serious thing happened on his tackle at the pylon at the 4-yard line. He kind of stumbles into the pylon. But the pylon, he falls on the pylon towards his hip and lower abdomen on his right side, and he lays on the field for what seems to be, I don't know, it looked to be 4 or 5 minutes, and I know it wasn't that long, so I'm like, I hope Zeke is not hurt. So he gets up and he goes to the sideline. He's limping, he's holding his side, and they're checking him out. So they run a couple of plays, to Pollard. They throw some stuff, a couple of plays in the end zone. They don't work. Then on third down and goal, Zeke's back on the field. And then Kellen Moore goes down in the bottom crevices of his bag, pulls out a Boise State play. They run a fake toss to Ezekiel Elliott to make the defense flex that way. He looks over the middle of the field and then tosses it back over to Zeke, who's still in the flat, and he high steps it into the end zone for a touchdown. Now, I didn't like the high step because really he almost got caught before he got there. You know, I don't like it, but I love that play call. Kellen Moore is definitely in his bag today, and the play calls and the imagination, the creativity. So that makes it 24-13. Okay, then kick off to the Giants. First play of the Giants get the ball back after our touchdown, making it 24-13. Mike Glennon tries to go deep to Board, middle of the field. Trayvon Diggs, Deion Sanders, my man. What do I mean by Deion Sanders? Deion Sanders used to have a knack for making guys appear to be open, to bait you to throw the football. And I noticed he's starting to develop those characteristics. I saw him in the second quarter, track Galladay. This is before he left the game. And on a crossing route where it appeared that he was open, and then you could see the closing speed on Diggs to close in and break that pass up. And Troy Aikman was talking about how, look at that closing speed. He said, now you would think this guy's open, but Diggs closes in on that and breaks it up, darn near picks it off. But on this particular play, it looks like it's going to be a 40 or 50-yard pickup, and Trayvon Diggs closes on him so quick, and by the time the ball gets to Board, Trayvon Diggs high points it, picks it off, runs it back to the 40, and I'm like, yeah, it's 24-13, and then we run a couple of plays and makes it 27-13. We're up 2 touchdowns. I think we should have got a touchdown there. There's been some penalties, and I think we didn't execute some of the plays as well, some drop passes and things of that nature, penalties and ill-timed penalties and stuff like that. But we settled for a field goal. We're still up 27-13. Giants get the ball. Kadarius Toney showing his tail again. They get the ball down to the 4-yard line, 3-yard line, and they tried on 4th and goal. And I kind of think Kadarius Toney got interfered with by Curse, but no harm, not Curse. I think it might have been Jordan Lewis. It was Jordan Lewis, but no harm, no foul. So the Cowboys take over the ball at the 2 yard line. All right, at the 2 yard line. And this drive could be called the Cedric Wilson drive because Kellen Moore, again in his bag, tries a flanker pass from Dak to Cedric Wilson, who used to be a quarterback in high school, and some when he was at Boise State. It was kind of a duck to CD Lamb, for 22 for 22 yards. CD Lamb was wide open. If it was a good pass, he walked in the end zone. But instead, it stands as a 22-yard catch. It's a first down. Then 2 plays later, Cedric Wilson scoots down the right sideline for a 45-yard, prettiest catch you ever want to see. A nice veteran move by Cedric Wilson. Runs down, sets the cornerback up, cuts back to the sideline, but leaves enough room on the sideline for Dak to fit the ball in over his left shoulder. He catches the ball, keeps his feet in bounds, drags his feet, falls out of bounds, 45-yard gain, 1st and 10 Dallas at the 14, 15-yard line. 2 plays later, Zeke scoots around the left end for a touchdown. It's now 34-13. Ball game's over at this point for all practical purposes. 34-13. I know they not scoring 21 points. I'm jumping all over the place. It's 34-13. Which caps off a 98-yard gut punch of a drive. When you goal line stand them at the 2-yard line, and then 98 yards later, Zeke is scooting in from 13 yards out. It's 34-13. Then the route's on. Okay, but not like last week because we hold on to this one. Okay, Giants go down. 4th quarter starts. They get the drive. They go down with 16-13 to go in the 4th quarter. Kadarius Toney on what would become his 10th catch. Kadarius Toney was just eating guys up, man. Kadarius Toney had 10 catches for 189 yards. Okay, that boy can play. He's going to be better than the guys that are in front of him. Okay, remember, didn't play in the preseason and he's got all these guys in front of him. Had COVID, had to recover from that. Really had no real rapport with Danny Dimes, and certainly not with Mike Glennon. So he's really finding his stride. But he catches a 10, 12-yard pass over the middle. I thought J-Ron Kearse was a little aggressive in his tackle, and then there was a gang tackle, and KZ and some other guys are in on the tackle. Next thing you know, it's almost like a bench clearing brawl, which culminates in Kadarius Toney throwing a punch at my man KZ. What the heck? Throwing a punch, and because there was some punching, there was some pushing and shoving and grabbing and all that stuff. Never understood why you would throw a punch with a closed hand and a guy with a helmet on. Never understood why you would do that, okay? But nevertheless, Kadarius Toney exits the game 6-13 in the 4th with the Giants driving. They would drive down, get a touchdown, make it 34-20, and Cowboys get the ball, drive down, and make some nice throws. Zeke's running with authority. And I thought they had a 4th and 3 or 4 at the Giants, 32, 33 yards. And I thought they should have gone for it, but they got conservatives. We got a 14-point lead, and we'll just kick the field goal and made it 37-20. And I'm looking at my prediction for score: Giants 34. Giants 17, and I'm like, wow, it's 37-20. Uncle Fred kind of know what he's talking about, okay? Pretty close. And it was kind of okay, and it could have stayed that way, but at the 1 minute and 35-yard minute mark of the 4th quarter, Giants got the ball, and it's basically just garbage time. We kicked the field goal. We up 17. Just ahead of the 2-minute warning. We up 17. We know we got the game in the bag. So the Giants, run a few plays, run some running plays, get a couple of passes, and kind of moving the ball a little bit in garbage time. And then this is what I call the coup de grace, or you can call it the you can call it the insult to injury. You can call it salt in the wound. You can call it payment for your pain, whatever you want to call it. Mike Glennon goes back to pass. They got first down at like the 41-yard line. Throws it to the right flat, right sideline. And out of nowhere comes the much maligned, the much criticized Anthony Brown. Picks it off clean, scampers down the sideline, touchdown, pick six, 44-20, Cowboys running away with the game, 44-20 Cowboys. And for all practical purposes, this baby is more than done, all right? And so final score, Cowboys 44, New York Football Giants 20. And even though the Giants had a numerous amount of injuries, and I know we have injuries of our own. We don't have Lyle Collins isn't an injury, but no, on defense, we Tank Lawrence is out, and we know we got Donovan Wilson is out, and we also we have on offense we got Mike Gallup that's out, so we got some guys out too. But I know not the same magnitude that the Giants have, with practically the entire receiving core. Then they lose their quarterback and starting running back. So with all those things in mind, you should beat them by 24. If you don't beat them by at least 2 touchdowns, you didn't do something right. So after the game, I got game balls, okay? Game ball. First game ball, because of what this day meant, because it's a year removed from the catastrophic injury, my first game ball, Daiquiri Prescott, Rain, Dakota Rain Prescott, 22 out of 32, 302, 3 touchdowns, that first quarter pick, overcoming that shaky first quarter to be the steady, consistent quarterback that he's always been when he's been with the Cowboys. And I thought he steadied the ship good. Second game ball, Ezekiel Elliott, 21 carries, 102 yards, 1 touchdown. Gave us a scare in the third quarter with that fall on the pylon, but he seemed to be good. Scored a touchdown late on a pass play and a running play. So he seems to be good. Scored 2 touchdowns today. He gets my game ball. I would give Trayvon Diggs one, who got another pick, but that's starting to become routine for Trayvon. Trayvon getting a pick every game. He's got 6 now. He's got more picks than 90% of the NFL teams. Boy got 6 picks already in game 5. So he gets a half a game ball. But my other game ball goes to Kellen Moore, who was down in the crevices of his bag, digging up plays you ain't never seen before. Kellen Moore, the connection he has with Dak Prescott, I think is going to prove as they continue with this season. You'll see them start to develop other things and other players. So as soon as Michael Gallup comes back, man, we'll have 4 wide receivers that can do multiple things. And we even got a wide receiver that can throw the ball. So it's unlimited the types of things Kellen's going to do with this team. So I just believe our offense is going to be unstoppable. And why I give Kellen Moore the game ball, because today Cowboys had 515 yards of total offense, including 301 yards, 314 yards passing, 201 yards rushing. That means 3 of the 5 games that the Cowboys have played, we've darn near had 200 yards rushing. Had 33 yards rushing, 44 yards rushing against the Tampa Bay Bucks, which, that was 198 yards rushing against the Chargers, 160 yards against the Eagles, 245 yards last week, 201 yards this week. Offensive line playing, gangster ball, knocking guys off the ball and opening up running lanes and allowing Dak not to be. He did get sacked once today, but overall, the offensive line played pretty well in that regard. But Kellen Moore gets the game ball for drawing up and coming up with a game plan because the Giants knew we were going to run the football, but still he designed some runs that granted where they weren't, and we was able to drum up 201 yards. Tony Pollard even chipped in 75 yards on 14 carries, just in case you need him, just if you need him, okay? 75 yards on 14 carries, okay? So they get the game ball, okay? On defense, I guess the game ball will go to Trayvon Diggs. We get one on defense, Trayvon Diggs. Don't really have any more for any other guys. You can maybe give half of one to Anthony Brown because he did get the pick six, but he did give up a lot of big plays, so I'm not going to really give him a game ball. Trayvon Diggs was playing that lockdown today. He gave up 1 or 2 plays, but, you're not going to shut guys out. But the plays he had to make, he made them. And Trayvon Diggs is going to be something, man, by the time, mid-season comes around, you ain't going to be wanting to throw at him because those are a couple of plays in the second quarter when the Giants settled for a field goal that was right after that Kadarius Toney pass to a pass that he got over Anthony Brown. The next couple of plays, Danny Downs tried to throw a couple of passes away. You can't throw passes in the direction of Trayvon Diggs. You're going to get that thing picked off. And he almost got it picked. And the announcers are going crazy. Like, you can't throw that ball away over there where he's at. And then another one, the next play in the end zone, it wasn't an interception, but he broke the pass up and it could have been intercepted. But, man, you taking chances when you're throwing at number 7. I'm just going to say that right now. So those are my game balls. Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, Kellen Moore on offense. On the defense, I'm going to go with Trayvon Diggs. They get my game balls. Now, my optimism, man, offense is proven to be unstoppable. 515 yards. I think we punted like 3 times. I think we're averaging about 3 punts a game because we go for it on 4th down a lot. And most times it's 4th and 1, 4th and 2, and we're getting about 80% of those. So we're not really punting a lot. But yeah, offense, feeling real good about it. I think now, but my concerns on this game, still think we give up a few too many big plays, especially in the passing game. Like I've been telling you, I love the turnovers. Okay, nothing wrong with turnovers, but understand this. Like I said in my previous videos, turnovers are just like found money in the cushions. You're not gonna turn the cushions over and find a $5 bill all the time. You count yourself lucky if you get those. Okay, you still got to have money if you don't find money in the cushion to sustain yourself. So don't depend on found money in the cushion to sustain your habits and sustain your livelihood. Won't work. Okay, so what will work is sound fundamentals in the running game, good pass rush, and sound pass coverage in the passing game. Okay, those are what'll save you. Okay, now I do know that there's ways that you can be ultra aggressive in the running game to get fumbles, and in the passing game to take gambles and get turnovers. But a lot of times you don't get those gambles, and sometimes you make yourself out of position trying to gamble for those plays. So I kind of want to see the big plays minimized a little more, and I'd like to see us play a little more fundamentally in the passing game defensively. Okay. But other than that, and I believe that as the season goes along, as these young players get more comfortable with Dan Quinn's defensive scheme and understanding what he wants from them, and we get a couple of guys back, we get Tank Lawrence back, we get Donovan Wilson back, I think you'll see some improvement in some of that. But right now, we're 4-1, second best record in the NFC. Cardinals keep winning. They're 5-0. We coming for them. So the Cardinals are 5-0. The Rams are 4-1. Bucks are 4-1. Packers are 4-1. We're 4-1. But we coming. We coming for that A. We coming for that A. Okay? We coming. All right? Cowboys going to continue to get better. So that's all I got today. No injuries to really report. I know Zeke had a little thing with his lower back and his hip. Mari kind of got caught up in a play in the end zone in the third quarter where he and CeeDee Lamb were crossing in the end zone, and the defender that was covering CeeDee Lamb, him and Mari's ankles kind of got caught up, sort of. It's kind of the play right after Zeke got hurt. So I'm thinking, whoa, can't be having them two guys get hurt. But now I know we're going up to Foxborough next week with a 4-1 record. Patriots won today. They're 2-3. But as much as Kellen Moore is in his bag, Bill Belichick got a defensive bag too, and he's going to be down in the bottom. So if I'm Kellen Moore this week, you better drink some coffee and take some no-dos, okay? I'm going to need you drinking coffee and taking no-dos. I'm going to need you spending the night at the Cowboys facility to draw up the plays because Bill Belichick gonna have something for you. You can bet that he's gonna have something for you. But I do know the Patriots got some injuries in the offensive line, and I know Mac Jones is really not that mobile. And he's a rookie quarterback, and there's a lot of things you can get him on. But he's smart though. Come from, you know where he comes from, so you know. But I think we can get some pressure. We can sack. You can't hurt him though. You can't hurt him, but we can get 4 or 5 sacks on him. But I want him to be able to go, to be all right. But we're going to Foxborough with some momentum. 4 wins. We're looking to get that 5th win. Okay, so we're looking forward. We coming for the Patriots. We ain't stirred. We coming for y'all. Okay, Cowboys 4-1. Great win today. 44-20. Cowboys roll. And Uncle Fred signing off. That's all I got today. But look forward to my recap for the NFL pick'ems on tomorrow after Monday night game with the Colts and the Ravens tomorrow night, and then probably around Wednesday we'll do our pick'ems for Week 6 because we got a Thursday night game, and so we'll do our pick'ems for the next week. But until then, Uncle Fred signing off. See ya. Cowboys win. Yeah.